Welcome back students in the class continuation of plant kingdom. In the previous one we have discussed about the some of the general characters of algae, means the three classes we were comparing, and those three classes of algae which are in Kingdom Plantae, these are Chlorophyceae, second is Phaeophyceae, third is Rhodophyceae, means the green algae, the brown algae and the red algae. Okay, as I told you earlier that algae is the group which is now divided, which is now actually separated into different kingdoms. How many kingdoms they are? They are one kingdom Monera, number two kingdom Protista, and number three kingdom Plantae. So remember by 3, remember by the digit 3, remember by the numerical value 3. So 3 are the classes that are given in Kingdom Plantae, and 3 are the kingdoms into which we have separated algal members. Okay, the classes of the algae are ending with the word Phyceae. In Monera we studied about Cyanophyceae. Okay, dinoflagellates in Protista, Dinophyceae, or you can call them in general as yellow golden algae. Diatoms in the kingdom Protista are Basilarionophyceae. So Phyceae word is used as a suffix for the classes of algae. Okay, so here we go for the description of the other things, means the remaining general characters plus their comparison. So just take a quick recall of the things that we have studied in the previous class. Those general characters that we have studied about the members of the algae were: 1, occurrence; number 2, we studied about their thallus organization, which is highly variable, no doubt about this; number 3, we studied about the cell wall composition, we studied the type of pigment they have, we have studied their reserve food, we have studied flagellation in them, we have studied the asexual reproduction till now. Now what is left? The two things are left. One is sexual reproduction and next is importance of algae. So we are going to study total 8 headings in algae. Okay, out of which we have completed almost every except the 2, right? So 2 are left. One is sexual reproduction in algae, clear, and the second one is importance of algae. So sexual reproduction of algae itself is a longer one, because for the first time we are going to notice some new words for us, and those words are going to be used in the later members of Kingdom Plantae as well. Okay, so here is the start for the members of algae, further characters, and that character is sexual reproduction in algae. Okay, right now you are watching us on Yupp Master. The Yupp Master is providing you the strategy how to crack the NEET exam, how to score highest in your school exams. Okay, so do follow us. We are on YouTube, we are on the Instagram, we are on the Facebook. Follow us, subscribe and like the channel so that you can get the notification and the updates on the various type of competitive exam, plus more of the general knowledge and good quotes, right? So stay inspired, right? So here is sexual reproduction in algae. So sexual reproduction in algae is events in sexual reproduction. Why I need to tell this word events in sexual reproduction? So here it is not written that events in sexual reproduction in algae. No, it's like that whatever be the organism, if it is exhibiting sexual reproduction, whether the organism is unicellular or multicellular. First of all, you must remember sexual reproduction means only eukaryotic organisms will do. Prokaryotic organisms are not doing true sexual reproduction. If you have any doubt regarding that, you can watch the previous classes. You can watch the previous classes of biological classification, where we have mentioned that how the sort of sexual reproduction in bacteria is just a gene transfer, not the actual sexual reproduction. Okay, so here we are discussing the actual thing about sexual reproduction. So whether it is Protistian algae or whether it is members of fungi or Animalia or Plantae, they all are going to exhibit the same sequence of events. I said same sequence of events, irrespective whether the organism is belonging to Protista, Animalia, fungi or Plantae. They all will follow the same sequence of the event, that are namely: one is gamete formation, that is gametogenesis, second is gamete transfer, the third is called fertilization, and the fourth is post fertilization events. Oh, right. If after fertilization is called as post fertilization, I can call the 1 and 2 means the gametogenesis and the gamete transfer together as what? Pre-fertilization events. So these steps are compulsory. These steps are mandatory for all sexually reproducing organisms. I repeat, these steps are mandatory for all sexually reproducing organisms. Okay, whether unicellular to multicellular, that's it. Okay, and only eukaryotic are doing this. So in the beginning of the Kingdom Plantae, I told you that the members of Kingdom Plantae are showing two generations. One generation is gametophyte, other generation is sporophyte. Gametophyte means the generation which is haploid and bearing gametes. I repeat, who bear the gametes in plant kingdom members? Answer, gametophyte bears. The ploidy level of gametophyte is haploid, means they have unpaired chromosome, they have single set of chromosome. Okay, fine. If gametophyte is haploid and gametophyte is known to bear the gametes, in that cases we are saying the gametophyte is having, in algae particularly, is having the structure which is called as gametangia. Later on we are going to mention this word as sex organs. Okay, male gametangia, female gametangia, respectively male sex organ and female sex organ. Okay, gametangia plural, gametangium singular. Okay, nextly they are undergoing mitosis and they will form what? Gametes. I repeat, in that cases gametophyte if is haploid and undergoing mitosis, there will be no change in the ploidy level and the result of these mitotic division will be haploid gametes. Gametes are always haploid, whether it's an animal or in plants, but must remember one thing, that in all members of Kingdom Plantae, gametes are formed by mitosis. In members of Kingdom Plantae, gametes are mitotically formed. Okay, gametes are mitotically formed. Okay, so this is the thing that I have mentioned here. The next thing, if I am going to talk about these gametes, there are certain questions in my mind. One, it may be possible that only single parent is going to bear both the type of gametes. Both type means one is considered as male and the other is considered as female. Okay. The second thing is, it is possible that the two different parents are involved in bearing these gametes which are undergoing fusion, means during fertilization. So here we go, that where these gametes are formed, they are sex organs, but in algae these sex organs are unicellular and non-jacketed, means they don't have any jacket around them. Wait, it is written as mostly, not written as always. It is written as mostly unicellular and non-jacketed. So let me tell you the exception of this. Exception: the multicellular and jacketed sex organ. Right, multicellular jacketed sex organ. In CHARA, Cara, this word is not new for us. I told this name in the green algae earlier also. This Cara is what? This Cara belongs to green algae, remember. And the common name of Cara is stonewort. This is having multicellular sex organs which are surrounded by jacket, means a protective covering. This is an exception. You will learn about this Cara again in class 12th chapters, or you can say in the coming 12th class NCRT, and the people from here in the two stages, the TS and AP, they are going to have this Cara in the chapter named Reproduction in Organisms in Botany part. Okay, so here the thing that we need to discuss about, so this is an exception. Give only this much importance to this exception right now. Only the name is sufficient. Let's go to the further things. So mostly unicellular and non-jacketed. The second thing is about the male sex organ is called antheridium, whereas female sex organ in most of the cases is called oogonium. Mostly. I haven't said in all the members of algae sex organ, female sex organ is called oogonium. No, it is not like that. Remember, I am not using the word all. So nextly is gametes are either motile or non-motile. If they are motile, they must be flagellated, and we have studied the story about flagella in algae earlier itself. Okay, so we have studied this thing that red algae members are not at all showing any flagellated stage. They will form the gamete. The thing is, their gametes will not be obviously having flagella on them. Okay, so these are the points that we need to remember about the sex organs in algae, and this is the kind exceptional case, the one Cara. Going to the next event or the next character, that is gametes. Now when we are talking about gametes, we need to know one particular thing, and that the gametes are always haploid. Number two, the male and female gametes are always distinct from each other. That's why I have given the name male and female. Why? They are physiologically different. They may appear alike, means morphologically same, or morphologically different. But when it comes to their physiological conditions, means the constitution they have, they are different from each other. Only such gametes which are physiologically different are going to fuse. Those physiologically different gametes on the basis of morphology can be categorized into different groups. One, if they are having same morphological appearance, that is called as isogametes, and if they have different type of morphology, we used to call it as heterogametes. I repeat, if it is isogametes, in that cases we are saying they are morphologically identical. Okay, they are morphologically identical means whether it's male gamete or the female gamete. There are different ways for representing the male and female. The male is often written as plus and the female is written as minus. Okay, so here is that, or you can call them as donor and recipient. So what I can write about isogametes right now is these isogametes are physiologically dissimilar and morphologically similar. Okay, such kind of characters we can mention. Going for the next, the heterogametes type of thing. So heterogametes, if I am saying hetero, means the other kind. So gametes are of different types. They are morphologically distinct as well. So it may be like the female gamete is a bigger one. Okay, it is a bigger one, and the male gamete is too small as compared to the size. The male gamete is too small as compared to the size. So for these heterogametes, I can simply write these features, that what about them or what kind of characters I can mention. So it is like, yes, they are also physiologically dissimilar, just like the first one, but they are morphologically distinct as well. They are dissimilar in both cases. Now extent of dissimilarities may be some extent dissimilar or maybe much more different from each other. Okay, so that type of thing we can mention about isogametes and heterogametes. And remember, in most of the organisms which are doing sexual reproduction, heterogamete is more common in occurrence. Means heterogamete is more common type. Means most of the organisms, those who are doing sexual reproduction, they have dissimilar looking male and female gametes. Okay, next one. So the second thing is, as I told you, that there is a possibility that the male and female gametes are produced by different individuals. Let me tell you this thing. Hold on. See it very carefully. Although the book is not mentioning it here in a clear way, but we are going to elaborate just to memorize, just to understand in the best way. Right? See this, gamete transfer. Gamete transfer is needed in what cases? First of all, when we are considering production of two kinds of gametes. Right? So if it is production of two type of gametes or two kinds of gametes, if it is production of two kinds of gametes, then what I can mention about them here? So it is very clear, the production of two kinds of gamete is like, first, single parent. First case is the single parent is bearing both the gamete, and the second case, two different parents. Okay. So these are the things that I am mentioning. It is possible that the gametes are produced by one only individual or two only individual, but still it is easy to transfer the gamete male to the female and form the zygote as a product of fertilization, right? As the product of fusion, zygote will be formed, but when the same parent is forming it, we will call it as uniparental sexual reproduction, or you will observe these may show what type of reproduction? That will be named as single parental or uniparental. You can call it as uniparental sexual reproduction. Okay, fine. If it is uniparental sexual reproduction, then the second case that I need to mention over here is about may show. They are not at all intentionally doing this. Maybe they are forced to perform the fusion of the gametes produced by the same individual. Okay. In that cases, it is also called as self-fertilization. Clear? And such examples are written with special names. Such examples are, okay, what examples? Such examples are told as homothallic. We call such example as homothallic, or in other words you can call them as mono, means one ischius to bear. One is going to bear the two type of gametes. They need not to depend on the other thallus to form zygote. Fine. Okay. This may be one of the situation. Or if the two parents are involved to bear the male and female gametes, means you are saying they are born on separate individuals, then in that cases I must have different type of perception for it. If it is showing uniparental sexual reproduction, two different parents, they are going to show what? Showing biparental sexual reproduction. Right? This is biparental sexual reproduction, and remember, this is more common. This is of more common type. This is more common in occurrence. Remember this. So we are saying this is going to show cross fertilization. And as I said, it is more common in occurrence. Okay. And here we used to mention that such examples will be named as, just suppose it one. If this is homothallic, that will be heterothallic. If this is monoecious, that will be dioecious. Either the organism is dioecious or they will pretend to be dioecious so that they can achieve cross fertilization, because it is having certain advantages. Yeah, cross fertilization is having certain advantages anyhow. So here we say, so if organism is showing a tendency to go for cross fertilization, repeat, if the organism is showing the tendency for going for cross fertilization, in that cases it is obvious that their gametes get transferred to the other individual, or their gamete may get released from the body and getting fused somewhere else. So it is like the one of the thing is the motile gametes are therefore getting transferred in water. It is about algae, remember. The motile gametes are getting transferred via water. So water is abiotic medium, not the living medium. But when the gametes are going to be non-motile, in that cases they are required to be carried away. Someone is going to carry these gametes to each other, and that kind of structure is called as conjugation tube. Let's see with the help of a diagram we are going to discuss it. The motile gametes in water are there. Number 2, non-motile gametes are there. So motile gametes are getting fused in water. If they are getting fused in water, we are saying that this is the water medium where they are getting fused. So water means which type of medium? As I said, abiotic medium. This is abiotic medium. Okay. Number 2, if they are saying the gametes are non-motile, then how they are getting transferred? So they are getting transferred in the term of, see, this is the donor, this is the donor thallus. We are taking the example of Spirogyra, okay, and this is the recipient, maybe. So in that cases they will get connected, okay, they are going to connect with each other. I repeat, they are going to connect each other. If they are going to connect each other, in that cases the nucleus that is here, the nucleus, or you can call it as, this is the portion who is going to be the donor. I will call this part as male gametangia, the one who is bearing the male gamete, male gametangium singular, and this is what? This will be called as female gametangium. And what is the next event then? Then we'll say if the protoplasmic junction is formed, if the protoplasm from the two sides is getting joined like this, we are saying that here the gamete will get transferred to the other side. I repeat, the gamete is going to disperse to or sent to the other side. So this portion or this point is called as, this particular structure is called as conjugation tube. We are calling this method in Spirogyra as conjugation. This is conjugation tube. So what conjugation tube is meant for? It is transferring the gamete from the donor to the recipient. This is how the non-motile gametes are transferred. I repeat, how they are going to be explained. In that cases I am saying, see this again, the protoplasmic junction is going to form between the two, and then we are saying the gametic content is getting transferred to the other side. So this will be the place, means this is going to be the place which is forming the zygote, and this is going to be the empty cell. This will be empty cell and this will be the zygote. Okay. So here two different thalli are involved. So I am calling it as heterothelic or dioecious. Okay. So this is the thing that we need to know. And remember, if conjugation tube is said, if it is conjugation tube, then what about conjugation tube? If water is abiotic, conjugation tube is, it is a living junction, right? You can call it as a biotic method or biotic medium for transfer of gametes in algae, where the gametes are non-motile, right? Hope it is clear to you, okay, right? Going to the next thing or the next character. The next is fertilization. The success of transfer of gamete depends on their fusion. If fusion is not there, you can simply state that fertilization is not, or you can say simply that transfer is not successful. So that's why here is the thing, that successful transfer of gamete is concluded as their fusion. So here are the gametes which are going to fuse in which condition? In water. Okay. So if it is in water, if they are in water, so it means they are outside the body, means outside the body, right? If it is outside the body, we can call it as what? External fertilization. We can call it as external fertilization. Why? Because it is outside any kind of the body, not the male, not the female body. Okay. Next, the second type of thing is like this conjugation tube, which we have studied in the previous one. Okay, just the previous slide was telling about that how this gametic content is getting transferred towards recipient. Okay, so in that cases we can say here the fusion is taking place in where? In the female sex organ. Okay, it is taking place in the female sex organ, right? And if it is the female sex organ, in that cases I am saying it is inside the body. Okay. So here is the thing that we can mention, internal fertilization. This will be called as internal fertilization. Okay. So one good thing about the discussion is, if the gametes are non-motile, the common type of fertilization that you can see will be internal fertilization. Okay. I can conclude to one point clear indirectly, and that is what? That if the gametes are non-motile, I repeat, if the gametes are non-motile. More common to see internal fertilization. Clear? Internal fertilization will be more common in that case. So this is the thing that we used to mention about the type of fertilization, whether external or internal, right? So this is the situation. It's easy one to understand. I hope so. So external fertilization and internal fertilization, we have these examples. Next to this, we need to know certain more features before we go for fertilization. Actually, there are different names of fertilization. We can call fertilization as syngamy, gamy, where gamous means fusion, So if the gamous means fusion here, in that cases we say, if gamous means fusion here, in that cases we are saying that the gamous word is going to come here again. It depends on what? The morphology of the gamete, not the motility. Okay. Based on morphology of gametes undergoing fusion. Okay. So based on morphology of gametes undergoing fusion will be, and not, remember what? And not what type of thing? They are not at all the kind of thing which we are considering as what? Not the motility, not their motility, not motility. Motility means not based on the locomotion abilities. Okay. Don't consider that whether the gamete is motile or non-motile when we are considering the term iso, means the same, gammas fusion, isogamy fusion of the same morphologically similar appearing gametes. Okay. Uniso means not same but not exactly different. A little bit dissimilar features are exhibited by such fusing gametes. Little dissimilar features. Okay. The line is written in some opposite way. Okay. I haven't mentioned that they are different but less, you can say like this. So here Ugami is the case where the gametes are differing at large. It is something that you can mention the gamete, female gamete is going to be larger in size usually, and the male gamete is very small in size. Okay. So that type of fusion we need to know: isogamy, anisogamy, oogamy. How many types of fusions are there on the basis of morphology of gametes? 3 types. How many types? 3 types. Again 3. Clear? Algae into how many kingdoms? 3 kingdoms. Algal classes in Kingdom Plantae, 3 classes. The type of sexual reproduction in algae, answer 3 types: iso, aniso and oogamous. Okay. So about these examples, if I need to tell that what type of condition I can mention over here. So remember, again I am repeating, the oogamy is the most advanced type. This is most advanced kind of sexual reproduction. Okay, that type of feature we can mention. Okay, fine. Going to the next one. After this type of fertilization, we need to consider that what is the product. Remember, product array. What is the problem in that cases? See this. Here is the thing now. Whether it is isogamy, anisogamy or oogamy, I repeat, whether it is iso, aniso or oogamy, if the gametes are going to fuse, or I can say union of gametes, or you can call it as fusion of gametes. Clear? Either. So, union of gametes or fusion of gametes. So, in that cases we can mention it very clear and we can write that this will be named as, or the product will be called as zygote. And if gametes are haploid, zygote is diploid. Representing what? Representing sporophytic stage, means the diploid stage. Okay. So, remember this thing. So, zygote is formed. Fertilization was the event that we have studied. Now, what after fertilization? What about the zygote, or what is going to be with the zygote? What is the condition of zygote after fertilization, or what it is going to do? Next, here is the post-fertilization event which is going to tell us about the condition of zygote after fertilization. So, here we say in most of the examples of algae, the unicellular zygote is the only stage of sporophyte. So, sporophyte in most examples of algae, zygote is representing the sporophyte. I repeat, I have extracted out the things. In most of the algae, the sporophyte is represented as, answer is zygote. In most of the algae, the sporophyte is unicellular. Okay, clear? In most of the algae, I am saying, not all algae are forming unicellular sporophyte. They may have multicellular sporophyte also, but that is an exception. Okay, so here is the thing that we are going to discuss about the fate of zygote. So, zygote is diploid, and in most of the algae, zygote is the unicellular and only, there is nothing beyond the zygote as diploid. So, it means zygote has to undergo meiosis. I repeat, in most of the algae, zygote undergo meiosis. What I said, because zygote is the only stage, of sporophyte. In that cases we say it must undergo meiosis, because remaining part will be gametophytic. If meiosis happens, the number of chromosome get reduced to half. Okay, meiosis is reduction division. And then we are saying a cell which is going to divide meiotically, or the cell which undergoes meiotic division, meiosis, is called meiocyte. So, when the zygote is undergoing meiosis, in that cases it is going to form something which is haploid, and that is called as meiospores here. That will be named as meiospores. Now, depending on the participating gametes in the fusion, or again I am repeating a line, that what kind of gametes participated in the fusion. Were they morphologically alike, or they are morphologically unlike? On this regard, we have two different names used in place of zygote. Okay, you may get confused with such words, so be careful. Okay, right? I am telling you that zygote is same. Clear? Zygote is same. Zygote can be written as either zygospore, or it may be written as oospore. The zygospore is diploid, the oospore is as well diploid. The both of them obviously are diploid. If both of them are diploid, then we are saying here the zygospore will be the condition when the fusing gametes are identical. When the fusing gametes are identical, their fusion is called as, or the product of their fusion is named as zygospore. Okay, whereas in the condition when we are observing a large food laden egg, Other names of the egg, again I am saying there are 3 names of female gamete. Clear? There are 3 names of such a female gamete which is larger in size. Okay, these 3 names are either you can use the word egg, you can use the word ova, you can use the word oosphere. Nice. So today's numeric value is 3. Okay, just for example, I am not at all interested in numerology. I am just telling you how to remember the thing. What I told you that remember the word, remember the digit 3. 3 means kingdoms where algae are placed. Okay, 3 are the kingdoms where algae are placed. Number 2, second, what I said, sexual reproduction in algae classes. Okay, next, 3 are classes of algae in Kingdom Plantae. Okay, and now I am saying there are how many? 3 names of female gamete here, which is larger in size as compared to the male gamete. Names of female gamete, larger in size. Okay, this is the way you can recall, you can retain the things. Okay, it increases joy of learning, right? How to enjoy study. This is one of the way. Earlier we have studied something about 4, if you remember. So I just said something about 3. Okay, these are the tricks, these are the methods just to get yourself energized in the class, right? Many such things are there. We can calculate everything in that manner. It depends how much we are able to retain. If you are retaining so many of the things, you can do many such type of comparisons. Okay, you can be that one definitely if you are going to do more and more practice. Okay, just if you are reading once, you are supposed to practice twice. There is no need to read the NCERT book in 2 times, or you can say it is not at all required to read it 25, 26 or 30 or 40 or 100 times, because it is not going to help you if you are not able to understand the book. It's a test book. It is supposed to be read once or twice only. So what to be done, or what should we do to get more marks or to extract maximum marks from that book? So you need to prepare brief notes out of that NCERT that we are doing here itself. Okay, and you need to do time to time comparison of the things, then only it is going to help you. Okay, hope that you are following the strategy that I told you in the earlier classes, to follow the dictionary type of a copy which is going to be a dictionary after 2 years of duration, or in this 1 or 2 year of duration of your preparation, right? So this is the way just I tried to recall or recollect the things that we have studied in the past. So here is the thing that I have mentioned, zygospore and oospore. So another name for female gamete is oosphere. So what is the ploidy of oosphere? N. Whereas oospore is product of fusion of dissimilar gametes where female is larger. So we call oospore to be diploid, obviously. So be clear. Don't get confused. Read the words carefully whenever you are getting the questions on oosphere, oospore words. Okay, remember this one, right? Next, after this, what happened to zygote? I told you here that zygote has undergone meiosis in most of the algae, and that resulted in the formation of such spores which are haploid. They will germinate into a new thallus. Simple. Okay, so here is the comparison of the 3 classes, what they are going to do during their sexual reproduction and how they are different from each other. See, I am telling you the things which are other than general. Remember this. Okay, the characters confined to these groups only. So for example, in green algae, do you remember the names of the example which are written over here? Yeah, this is what Volvox. and this is what Ulothrix. Okay, as I remember, this member is laminaria, this one is fucus, this one is dictyota. Okay, and here we say this one is porphyra, this one is polysiphonia. So why I am telling you this, because the nextly it is the concluding part actually, and definitely they may ask the questions in the terms by giving the diagrams, by giving these figures and asking that what is true about them. They can take any of the characters in the green algae by putting these figures. Okay, any of the characters of the brown algae by giving these features or these type of figures. So here is the thing, in green algae we are saying every type of sexual reproduction is present. Their members are isogamous. Their members may be anisogamous. Their members may be oogamous. Now I told you that it is not at all the motility of the gamete which is going to decide these categories, these three categories. See, Spirogyra is forming non-motile gametes. Okay, the Spirogyra is forming non-motile gametes, whereas Ulothrix forms motile gametes. But in Spirogyra, the non-motile gametes are identical. In Ulothrix and Cladophora, the motile gametes are identical. So their fusion in both the cases called as isogamy. Clear? Next is other example, that is Eudorina, means little difference between the gametes. So it is anisogamous. It is newly added example in NCERT. Hope they will ask the question soon, maybe 2021 or 2022. This year in 2020 they haven't asked this example. Next is Ugami. Ugami means the case where I told you the female gamete is larger, the male gamete is small, and this is about Cara and Volvox. Clear? So the examples are almost those which are getting repeated again and again. Okay, we need not to remember excessive examples, not at all required. Additional examples are not required. These are sufficient. These are more than enough. Okay, so coming to the next one, the brown algae. What about brown algae? The brown algae members are also isogamous, anisogamous or oogamous. Fucus is one such example where we are observing oogamy. They have given fucus, okay, for other places as well. I am taking this example from the chapter Reproduction in Organisms. This fucus is having large female gametes. They have given in the words. I am making it into diagram. The larger female gamete is food-laden, non-motile. Okay, the male gamete is small, pyriform, laterally flagellated, heterocon flagellation. Okay, there are two flagella, but they are unequal in length, and this type of gamete is going to fuse. If these are the gametes which are formed in fucus, definitely fucus is oogamous. I have a question. If oogamous is considered and I am saying the gamete is non-motile, the female gamete is non-motile, it means where it is going to get fused or where it is getting fertilized? Obviously inside the female sex organ. Okay, so we are saying that oogamous sexual reproduction is often associated with internal fertilization. Clear? You can say like this. You can't say that only oogamous is going to be shown as internal fertilization. No, 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 no. See, Spirogyra exhibit internal fertilization, but the type of reproduction is isogamous. What I said, that oogamous is most of the cases associated with internal fertilization. Don't go reverse. Don't say internal fertilization is oogamous always. No, no chance. Maybe majority of the cases can be like this, but you can't go like this way. You can't say that internal fertilization is oogamous. Oogamous is mostly associated with internal fertilization. Oogamy, mostly associated with what? Ugami is mostly associated with internal fertilization. Converse of the statement is not true. Okay, right? So that is the thing that you need to know. Next, going to the other feature that I am telling you, that this will be considered as what? Oogami. The larger female gamete, what the name? Oosphere, is going to fuse with the small, literally biflagellated male gamete and resulting in the formation of oospore. Okay. Next is red algae. What about red algae then? The red algae members are totally different in the cases. What? One, they are forming non-motile gametes. This we have already studied. What we have studied in this regard? Okay, what we have studied in this regard? We have studied something like that the flagellated conditions are not seen in red algae. Flagella are absent in the members of red algae. Their spores, non-motile. Their members, non-motile. Gametes also non-motile. Okay, so gametes are non-motile. Number two, the female sex organ is named differently. Okay, that's why I was telling you in the earlier slides were telling you that the female sex organ is mostly named as oogonium. And here it is, the female sex organ is carpogonium in red algae. In green algae and brown algae, it's conventional. Oogonium is fine. Okay. Next is oogamous sexual reproduction. I can even write only. All the members of red algae are showing oogamy. Interesting. Here both the gametes are non-motile. Here female gamete is non-motile. Okay. I repeat. In the cases of red algae, both gametes are non-motile, but oogamy is seen. Here, the female gamete is non-motile, male gamete is motile, oogamy is seen. So, what does it mean? Does it relate to oogamy relate to motility of the gametes? Answer is no. It is totally related to morphological appearances of the gamete. Okay, morphology, remember, not the locomotion. Okay. So, next is complex post-fertilization changes. As we have observed that most of the cases the zygote was undergoing meiosis. But in the members of red algae we may see that zygote is going to divide mitotically and going to form comparatively longer stage of sporophyte, or you can say a multicellular sporophyte even. So, that is why red algae is totally different. And if someone is asking that which is the most advanced algae, answer is red algae is most advanced. See, oogamous sexual reproduction is advanced kind of sexual reproduction. Okay. So, most advanced algae is red algae. Means rhodophyceae. The second thing they can ask is who is the ancestral form of or who is more related to land plants? Answer, green algae. Okay. So, that type of condition we can mention. So, remember this green algae, brown algae, red algae in terms of sexual reproduction also. Okay. Here we are going to close the general characters plus comparison among the classes of green algae. Next we need to discuss about the importance of algae. So, I haven't mentioned which type of importance. It will be both economic as well as ecological. Okay. So, first of all we used to say don't go for or don't think for the trees actually. You need to know that it is actually the oceanic alga who is going to do maximum of photosynthesis. We are not talking about their productivity. We are talking about who is going to give out maximum O2. So, that will be algae. They are going to fix at least half of the total CO2. Okay, not maximum. We are not considering about productivity right now. That is a different thing, totally separate. We need to discuss it in the topic that is ecology. Okay, here I am telling you they are doing most of the photosynthesis on the earth. Almost about 50% of the photosynthesis is done by the algae. Okay, if they are doing photosynthesis and they have chlorophyll A, they liberate oxygen in their surrounding. So they are making environment oxygen rich. Okay. Number thirdly, if they are producers, if they are doing photosynthesis, if they are producers, then it means they are serving as the source of food for the marine organisms. Why only marine organisms? It is for us as well. Clear? Means we are saying even human beings are also using algae as food or fodder, right? So here is the thing, many species of Porphyra, Laminaria, Sargassum, clear, are among the 70, remember 70 species of marine algae, marine, not freshwater. Okay, when we are using them, we are saying the brown algae are good, nutritional quality, brown algae. The brown algae is the source of iodine, potash, means we are getting some minerals from them. Source of iodine and potash. Okay, that kind of thing we used to mention about them. So obviously it is important as food, obviously, right? So they are important as food, not only for marine animals, it is also for human beings, right? Next is that agar is the product of red algae. Which red algae? Gelidium and Gracilaria. These are red algae. And I told you this agar is what? This agar is something which is actually sulfated ester and is stated as phycocolloid, colloid, which is able to retain water. Agar is best known biological imbibent. Imbibent, the one who soaks water, right? The one who soaks water is called as imbibent. So when we are saying agar, one of the commercial product obtained from Gelidium and Gracilaria are used to grow microbes in preparation of ice cream, jams, jellies, and as well as to culture bacteria in laboratory, in the tissue culture experiment for setting of the explant or the plantlet. Agar is having so many uses. Okay, it is like the colloid nature of this agar is making it to be best of the imbibent. Imbibent means which soaks water. Yeah, even the wooden block is an imbibent. If you keep the wooden block in water, it is going to swell, right? The swelling is showing what? Imbibition. So agar is going to swell more than the wood in water. So that's why agar is better imbibent than wood. Okay. Nextly, another feature is about the alga named chlorella. Although it is unicellular and is supposed to be the member in Kingdom Protista, they are saying the unicellular alga is rich in proteins and used as a food supplement even by the space travelers. So when the space travelers are using chlorella, they are saying that this chlorella can be mentioned as space alga. You can call it as space alga as well. Here space related to what? Astronomy. The astronauts, the space travelers are using chlorella for two purposes. Obviously, it is releasing oxygen in their surroundings, and number two, whenever they are feeling hungry, they can eat this up. Okay, it is high protein rich, so obviously it is going to fulfill the requirement of the hunger. Okay, we will feel less hungry if we are having high protein diet. So these are the importance of algae. So students, actually we have completed algae, and as we have completed algae, you are now supposed to go for the next topic, that is Bryophyta. Okay, means the land plants. We are going to land plants, then we are heading towards land plants. And in the beginning of the Kingdom Plantae, I told you what are the common characters of all land plants. So we are going to elaborate those terms. We are going to start from Bryophyta in the next class, and hope you are all following the classes, you are following the regular schedule, you are following the strategy of attempting the daily practice paper available on our app, Yupp Master app. Okay, so definitely we are on Instagram, we are on the Facebook, we are on all social media platforms. Do like us on the Facebook page, like us on the Instagram, so that you can get the regular updates that what is going to be next live on Yupp Master. Thank you for watching the classes. All the best.